Greg Wyshynski, Emily Kaplan, ESPN on Ice is the podcast. Free agency is the topic at hand. Emily, who is the player you are looking at, the big-time player that you're excited about to see where they go in free agency in the National Hockey League?
Greg, I can't believe it's gotten to this point, but I really do believe when it comes to Friday, Alex Pietrangelo, the captain of the St. Louis Blues, is going to explore his options. And that's not because he wants to. He wants to be in St. Louis. He's made that very clear. As you love to say, he don't want to move his stuff. The Blues, though, know he wants to go there. And they're being tough negotiators. They've given a lot of different guys deals, not him. He's going to be a really interesting one. Teams like the Philadelphia Flyers are probably going to consider it. The Vegas Golden Knights, you're going to hear them in on everyone. I don't know how they have the cap space to do it, but they're going to be in on him too. Plenty of suitors out there because he is a premier number one shutdown defenseman.
Don't forget about those pesky Florida Panthers. They might be even in on him too. Now, the other guy the other belle of the ball was Taylor Hall of the Arizona Coyotes. He's been waiting for this moment for many, many years. Unfortunately, won't get the John Tavares come and give us your DVD presentation treatment that most free agents get. It's all going to be socially distanced, Zoom calls, that sort of thing. The Coyotes general manager Bill Armstrong acknowledged that Hall is going to be moving on, that he will not be a member of the Coyotes next season, which means he hits the open market. Now, the echo chamber of the NHL has said for a while that it could be the Calgary Flames or the Edmonton Oilers. Taylor Hall's an Alberta boy. Getting Hall in free agency. Obviously, he was drafted by the Oilers back in the day. But a couple other teams to look out for. Boston Bruins, a place that I heard Hall has always fancied himself playing. And a new entrant in the arena, Emily, which is the Nashville Predators. Now, Hall's former coach in New Jersey, John Hynes, is the head coach of the Predators. He loves them. Huge John Hynes fan. The Predators cleared out a bunch of salary during the NHL draft. Nick Bonino going to Minnesota, Kyle Turris getting bought out. And the thought is that maybe a short-term reunion between Taylor Hall and John Hynes could occur in Music City. Now, what's an under-the-radar free agent you have your eye on?
You know, there's not a lot of defensemen available, and we've heard it's always going to be the top guys that are going to get paid and the bottom guys are going to get paid, but nothing in the middle class. Well, here's a middle-class guy. It's Kevin Shattenkirk. Now, he's been paid like a big guy in New York and was bought out from that contract. He then took a prove-it deal with the Tampa Bay Lightning and won a Stanley Cup. And we always see this recency bias. Guys win the Stanley Cup. People want to sign them. He had 13 points in 25 playoff games. It really felt like he revived his career. I see a ton of teams in on him. The Philadelphia Flyers, I mentioned them earlier. Again, any team that needs a defenseman, the Vancouver Canucks expect them to be interested. I think the Lightning would love to keep them, but they're in their own salary crunch right now, and they've got to sign their own RFAs.
This is true. Now, here's my guy. The St. Louis Blues, Stanley Cup champions. The Tampa Bay Lightning, Stanley Cup champions. The common denominator, Pat Maroon. Now, this is a guy who is going to fit the bill for your bottom six grit, sandpaper, jam, toughness guy with playoff experience that everyone's going to want now that the Lightning won the Cup with those types of players. It'll be fascinating to see what he does next. Who knows if he's even going to play? Maybe he's going to, go out on top. Who's to say? But I think Pat Maroon, if you're a team that is contending for a cup, say like the Toronto Maple Leafs, maybe you want to be in the Pat Maroon business based on his recent success. Finally, what's a team that you're looking at in a free agency, Emily?
We mentioned them earlier. The Predators are fascinating right now. David Poile has wanted to shake up this team for a while. They've been really stale ever since they made it to the Stanley Cup final. He fired the coach last year, but he's always wanted to move player contracts, but hasn't gotten that flexibility to. Well, he got it because he finally bought out Kyle Turris. It was not working. I'm very glad that they decided to part ways. And also traded Nick Bonino, which cleared $8.1 million in cap space. Now, they're a team that wants to get younger, and they've got a bunch of prospects knocking at the door. But David Poile, announced today that he does not have an internal salary cap. He's allowed to spend whatever. So, yeah, I would expect them to be on a Taylor Hall or also getting Dadonov or Mike Hoffman or anyone who can give them a little bit of scoring.
Indeed, and you mentioned my team before too, the Vegas Golden Knights. The Knights are interesting because they don't have any cap space. So they're going to have to do something to clear out some room to make their team better. Obviously, all eyes are on Marc-Andre Fleury and whether or not the Knights can move him on the last 2 years of his contract. It's a cap hit around $7 million, so they're going to need an intermediary team to kind of pick up a little bit of that freight if they're going to move him someplace. And keep in mind, Fleury's got to sign off on the trade as well. So if they can get that situation cleared up, maybe clear out a little bit more salary, like you said, Alex Pietrangelo could be the big piece on the blue line the Knights have been chasing since they entered the league. Be interesting to see. Free Agent Frenzy this Friday. Your friends at ESPN will have full coverage on ESPN.com. Also check out me and Emily talking more about free agency on the ESPN on Ice podcast. Thanks, everybody. Have fun.